Had it, let it slip away, came back, let it slip away again. Man, the Kings let one get away right there against the Pelicans in a game that I think most people believe the Kings probably should have won. This is not a good Pelicans team, and they're missing DeJounte Murray, and they're missing Zion Williamson. Well, they were last night, and the Kings still managed to lose that one in overtime. They took it to overtime where they lost the lead in the end and took it to overtime and then lost it in overtime, which is pretty unfortunate because I thought this game was up for grabs. I thought this team was out for the killing, but the Kings just couldn't handle business last night on the second game of a back-to-back in New Orleans versus the Pelicans. And the Sacramento Kings lose 133-140 to the New Orleans Pelicans. And the Sacramento Kings are currently in ninth place, tied with the Warriors at 28 and 27. And the Kings have the tiebreaker currently, is why they are above the Warriors. But right now they are in the bottom of the play-in tournament, bottom half of the play-in tournament currently. They are still above 500. After piecing a couple victories together, they lost one on the road. Hey guys, I got some good things to say about the Kings, some important stuff to say. Real quick before I get into it, please like the content. Click that like button. Also, if you're into Kings talk, Kings analysis, anything Kings, go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. It should be over there. There's a logo right there you can use. And also down below, click that subscribe button if you're into Kings talk, Kings news, Kings analysis. I'm your guy for the post-game analysis show. So go ahead and click that subscribe button for your boy. If you can, share the content. I appreciate it. Y'all back? We back. Y'all back? We definitely back. I'm glad you're here with me. Hopefully you're here for the whole video. And I just want to say, welcome YouTube. And to all my folks and you Kings fans out there. It's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, and I'm back at you with another episode of the Kings Morning After Midday Cup with Joe with Jay.
I love it.
Ooh, and that coffee is old and cold and a little bit lifeless. Kind of like the Kings were on defense last night. And today is February 14th, 2025. It is Valentine's Day, and I want to say happy Valentine's to all the lovers out there and all the people looking for a Valentine's. Big heart to you guys. Can't even make a heart right. Something like that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. And if you're not into Valentine's, forget about it. Just listen to this analysis. And today is... You know what today is. You know what today is. It's Friday. It's Friday. End of the work week, Friday. Time for the weekend. Valentine's on a Friday, time for the weekend. Let's go. And my cup of Joe for today is the Kings, man. The Kings let one get by them last night. Really poor defense at times. And a lot of turnovers. Especially at the end of the game when they're trying to close out the game. Too many turnovers. I guess you can attribute that to These guys learning each other. These guys not really having a traditional point guard. But it was a little concerning to see the defense being played against this team that was missing DeJounte Murray and Zion Williamson in a game, in my opinion, that the Kings should have probably won. Even though they're on the road, even though it's the second game of the back-to-back, it was the second game of a back-to-back for the New Orleans Pelicans as well, because we played them last night, or the night before last night. So it was the same thing for both teams. The Kings were winning at times throughout the game. They were up by 12 even at one point. And this is a game, in my opinion, the Kings just did not close out well. And not having a point guard kind of showed its head. And I don't know. There was just times when we just needed better ball handling, better ball control, and more sense of identity as to what we were going to do at the end of that game. It was a little helter-skelter, a little clunky. So hopefully the Kings can work on these things. They picked up Markelle Fultz. He could have played last night. He didn't play last night. Maybe they're trying to get a practice in with him, at least one practice in with him before they start using him. So I'm curious to see how he does and what he does on this team. But moving forward, I mean, the Kings, they cannot close out like this. They cannot close out games like this, and they cannot play defense like this. And, I'm just starting to hear a lot of rumblings and people just being like, it's time to blow up the team. I don't know. I don't know if it's time to blow up the team yet. I feel like this is still a good team. This is a team that can make the playoffs. There's just a couple kinks that they need to work out. And, maybe some practices under the belt will help them going forward. So that's my cup of Joe. Black, one creamer. And I'm going to give you guys some stats for this game. And I'm going to give them to you quickly. Some quick stats. All right, so last night the Pelicans won 140-133. Kings started off okay, and even into the second half, they were winning going into halftime. Pelicans had a great third quarter. Kings had a decent fourth quarter, which enabled them to get into the overtime. But in overtime, as you can see, Pelicans kind of doubled their scoring, and the Kings could not hit. And they also could not stop the Pelicans, which led to the loss. And for the Pelicans, CJ McCollum with the big 43 points. Huge scoring from him. He always scores big time versus the Kings. And Trey Murphy with 18, Jose Alvarado with 18 big points. Those guys always do well against the Kings. And they had a couple guys in double figures off the bench as well who pitched in some help for the Pelicans. Hawkins and Robinson Earl with 16 points, 16 big points off the bench. Trey Murphy with 11 huge assists, and Trey Murphy also with 9 rebounds. He was a big stat getter last night. And for the Sacramento Kings, the Kings' leading scorer was our new guy, Zach LaVine, with the big 32 points. We also had Malik Monk pitch in a big 24, our dog, Malik Monk. Also, we had Domantas Sabonis pitch in the big 22 points and a huge 28 rebounds. Domantas Sabonis with huge 28 rebounds, which is just amazing. And assists, Zach LaVine was the leading assist getter, along with Malik Monk getting 9 assists. These guys were basically also playing point guard. They're kind of combo guards, so they were both playing both guard positions last night. And whoever says Domantas Sabonis is not an all-star is tweaking. They are on serious drugs and just obviously don't watch Domantas Sabonis and don't pay attention to the Kings. And the team stats, the Pelicans shot 50% from the field, Kings 43. 3-point percentage, Kings 36, Pelicans 42. The Pelicans actually hit 4 more threes than the Kings. Free throws, the Pelicans hit 27 free throws. Kings only hit 18, which is 9 more free throws, which is showing you the discrepancy in scoring right there. Kings shot decently, 85% from free throw, Pelicans 79%. And total rebounds, Kings out-rebounded the Pelicans 58-45. They had 13 more possessions off of rebounds than the Pelicans, but it wasn't enough. Assists about the same in the 30s. Blocks, the Pelicans actually had 7 blocks to the Kings 1. Steals about even. Turnovers about even. Kings have 14. Pellies 10. And points in the paint. Sacramento Kings with 54. And the Pellies with 48. Eye test. I'm going to give the Kings an eye test. Yeah. Eye test. Eye test. Eye test. All right, for this eye test, I'll show you a little bit of where the Kings kind of lost the lead in the third quarter. Kind of allowing guys to get into the paint there. Alvarado able to make good defense there. Bad pass, but Sabonis was able to get it back, still score. CJ McCollum seemed like he was able to do whatever he wanted. He could shoot open threes. He was able to drive to the basket whenever he needed to. And at this point, the Pelicans have taken over the lead in the third. Beautiful shot by Levine right there. Nice three. Boom. He also hit another one right there from the other side. Pretty good looking 3-point shot right there. Who's guarding him? Nobody's guarding him. McCollum, the King's killer. Some of these shots there. That was a nice drive by Malik Monk. Clutch guy. He was wide open. He could have shot that. Drive right to the basket and get an and one. Which was kind of bootsy because he did not get fouled on that. And then Keon Ellis wasn't shooting his three like he was the game before. I was kind of wondering what happened to Keon Ellis. He should have been shooting his three the same way he was the night before. McCollum just penetrating whenever he wants. I'm going to fast forward over to the fourth quarter to end when the Kings were able to come back. Actually, the Kings are... They had to come back at the very end. They're actually in the lead right here with 2.5 to go. Sabonis tips one in to put them up by 5 with a minute to go. CJ McCollum, float game, clutch float game. CJ again, boom. Who's going to stop CJ? Nobody. Ooh, he almost won it in the regulation right there. Just drove all the way down the court for a pretty easy shot that we got lucky that he missed that, honestly. So in overtime, the Kings started off okay, 2-man game. Malik Monk to Sabonis, complaining about a foul that did not get called. Clutch drive by Monk. Monk couldn't hit the three right there. They're up by 1 at this point. 3 minutes left. McCollum is basically on fire. Getting his three off, no problem. CJ McCollum killing the Kings. He's hit like the last 9 points. Just able to penetrate to the lane way too easily is the Pelicans in this game. At this point, the Kings are down by 5. They need to get the ball back. It's a 2-possession game. But McCollum was able to drive, hit the fancy layup against them down low, And at that point, that is pretty much game for the Kings, who were not able to play enough defense at that end to make that comeback. CJ, 43 points on the night. Bottom line, the Kings morning after. Bottom line. Today's bottom line is... bottom line for me is, I don't really have a bottom line. I'm just like, what is this Kings team going to be? I think a lot of people are wondering that at this point. What is this Kings team going to be? Kind of a lot of stars just kind of thrown up against the wall. What's going to stick is kind of my question. Who's going to stick? What's going to stick? What's going to work? We got Markelle Fultz. Is this guy going to come in and be the point guard? What about Keon Ellis? And what about Malik Monk? If they do get a point guard, is Malik Monk going to have to sit the bench or be the sixth man again? I'm not quite sure about that. He was really proud, really happy to get that starting position. So at this point, it seems like if we do get a point guard, he's probably going to be the man out, the man sitting, having to start on the bench. So I'm not sure. Things were looking clunky here and there. It's smoothing out a little bit with Levine helping out at point and Monk helping out at point, but still just doesn't look super smooth. These guys still looking for their roles, trying to find their roles. And offensively, I mean, these guys are okay. They're good. They're good offensively. They can score. My issue is defense, especially in late game situations. And these blow-bys, these guys seem to get. Everybody's getting blown by. I don't know if guys are just tired because it's the end of the game. I saw Keegan Murray get blown by. I saw Keon Ellis get blown by. I seen guys just get to the paint with very little resistance from our center, Domantas Sabonis. So, I don't know. It's going to be a rough stretch coming up pretty soon here as well, where we have some really good teams we have to play. So the Kings are going to have to figure it out. Do these guys want to be in the playoffs? If they do, they're going to have to play a lot harder at the end of games to close out these games. And they're going to have to play a lot more defense. Not allow guys to get to the hole so easily. Close out better. Stay with these guys better. Not allow so many blow-bys. And the help defense needs to be a little bit better down low. And that's my bottom line. Next up. So we are now into All-Star break. So I have some All-Star content coming out pretty soon here, since I won't have any Kings content to put out. And the Kings' next game is for 8 days. But that next game is Friday, February 21st versus Golden State, of all people. Golden State is going to come down out to our crib after the All-Star weekend that they're having out there in the Bay and come face us 7 p.m. Friday, February 21st. So be there, watch that game, check that out, watch it on TV, whatever you do, and then click subscribe so you can come back the day after and watch the next episode of my show, my analysis, my Kings post-game show, Kings Morning After. And Golden State is led by Stephen Curry. They also have Jonathan Kuminga, who's coming into his own, very athletic player. Draymond Green, the infamous. Andrew Wiggins has been traded away. He's no longer on this team. They do have ex-King Buddy Hield, Quentin Post, Brandon Podzinski, part of the future of this team. Dennis Schroeder was added to this team. Hasn't really made much of an effect or difference on the team, but he was added to the team. Lindy Waters, Moses Moody, he was a good shooter. Pat Spencer, Gui Santos, and Kevon Looney. And this team is in the standings. They are, one game. They are tied with us. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see who breaks that tie on this next coming game Friday, 8 days from now. So we'll have to check that game out. It's actually 7 days from today, because today's the 14th. So I'm interested to see how the Kings come out of the All-Star break, and to see how the Warriors come out of the All-Star break as well, and see who wins that game. It's going to be a tough one. You know, the Kings and the Warriors are right about the same level. I want to play these guys with our new guys and see how they look. So it's going to be a fight. You know, it's not going to be an easy game. The Warriors always play as well. Steph Curry always plays as well. I just want to see the Kings win. The Kings win, and they'll be on top of the Warriors with the tiebreaker, and they get a little bit of separation from the Warriors and maybe even be able to move up the Western Conference a little bit. And guys, if you're into sports betting, I want to show you this site real quick. It's called BetUS. It's what I use. It's a great little sports book for placing bets. I like to bet on the fights, boxing, UFC, all that stuff is on here. You can do parlay bets. It's a great traditional sports book and betting site. You also can bet on basketball. Obviously, there's no basketball games right now to show, but I will show you some boxing real quick. Or actually, well, it looks like they have some all-star stuff. You know, they got the Team C. They're saying Team C is going to win by 3.5. And they're also saying Team M is going to win by 4.5 over Team G. I'm not even sure what those are. Rising Stars. These are the Rising Stars games. So these are the games that are happening tonight. Rising Stars. So how do you guys feel about those odds? I'm not even sure who's on the teams. I'm sure you can look it up if you go to the NBA website. But they have those on there for basketball since it's the All-Star weekend. And then also, I like to use this site for boxing bets too, to see who's on the cards. So there's some Friday boxing here. Keyshawn Davis, Abdullah Mason. There's some fights tonight. There's also some fights on Saturday. If you're into betting on fights, you can do that. They also have parlay bets you can do. You just stack up your bets like that. Make your bet over here, what you're going to bet, and they'll tell you what you're going to win if you bet that much. So if I bet those 3 parlay bets, I'd win $3 if all 3 of those guys won. So this is a cool site to use. Also, we have Prize Picks that we also use. So both of those links are down in the description below. If you want to do some sports bet, I recommend either site. Plus, it helps the channel. Just use the link below. And I got a question for you guys. How do you feel about the Kings right now? Do you feel like the Kings should just blow it up? Or do you think they should continue along this path in an attempt to make the playoffs with this team going forward and make the changes they need at the end of the season? How do you feel? Make a comment below. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. And if you make a comment before I make my next video, which is like in 8 days, 7 days, so you have time, I'll put your comment in the next video. So something fun to do there. And also, guys, I'm new, but I'm trying to grow the channel. If you like the content, that'll really helps bring eyes to the content. Also, if you're not a subscriber already, click the subscribe button down there for your boy. Click the logo right there, the logo over there, you can subscribe with as well. If you're into Kings talk, Kings news, Kings updates, go ahead and subscribe. Why not? I'm gonna give you some analysis after each Kings game. That's always good. That's always great for those hardcore fans like me, especially after a loss. You want a little bit of analysis. I'm going to give you that. So go ahead and subscribe for that. Analysis after every game. Just click subscribe. Also, if you can, share it to any of your social medias. I really appreciate a share. Any of your social medias count. It helps me kick the algorithm's ass. And if you can, make a comment. Comment on the Kings. Comment on the question I asked. Comment on my show. Comment on how I'm doing. Comment on the weather. I don't care. Comment on anything. It helps me kick the algorithm's ass. Just get involved with the community. Help me out. Help me grow. And I have a motivational quote for you guys today. And this one is actually an old Chinese proverb that I found doing extensive research on Google. But it goes like this. Be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Don't be afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid of standing still. Obviously you don't want to be standing still. Every day, if you could take one step, even if it's a little step, it's a step in your progression. It's a step towards your goals, and every step matters. It's better than standing still and not doing nothing. And with that, that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you guys joining me. I appreciate you for watching the whole video. Please click that like button for your boy if you're still watching. Please click that like button. Obviously, I entertained you somehow, gave you some type of analysis. Also, click the subscribe button so you can get a notification, or at least see my thumbnail picture come up the day after the next Kings game for the next episode of the Kings Morning After Midday Cup of Joe with Jay. That's right, go ahead and click that subscribe button and tune in next time, the day after the next Kings game, for another analysis, another episode. We're gonna do some all-star content as well, so subscribe. You're gonna want to check that out as well. Also, please share and make a comment, guys. Comment on anything, I don't care. And with that, I'm out. But before you go, check out these moves. It's good.